Alright, welcome back to another episode. And today's topic is going to be radical self honesty when it comes to trading. Here we go. The reason I wanted to discuss about this topic is because I have personally experienced something that really affected my performance when it comes to trading, which is not being honest about the reasons why I'm actually engaging in certain trades. This is going to be a bit of a deep topic, which is something that I will most likely enjoy myself, because I really like diving deep into these discussions. And I believe this is where my real edge actually comes from. It comes from self-awareness. So I'm going to bring a lot of awareness today onto the big picture of my trading in general. So I have experienced something that it kind of took me a month to figure out what is really happening. And that is me avoiding entering certain trades. I often find myself being, very accurate when it comes to the overall market direction and wherever the market tends to go. And that's because I spend a lot of time reading the charts and doing analysis. And I'm not a wizard by anyhow. I still get it wrong a lot of times, although I tend to be most of the times correct about these things. Yet I'm still struggling to not to find the entrance, but to actually pull the trigger. And that isn't necessarily related to fear, because I'm not afraid of losing. I understand the concept of probabilities, and I understand the concept of, having a 60% win rate, meaning 6 out of 10 trades are profitable, where the 4 other ones may not be profitable, right? I also understand that there is not a proper sequence when it comes to when these trades are going to play out. So having a 60% win rate doesn't mean that one trade is profitable and then the other one is not profitable, and then the next two are going to be profitable, and then the next one is not going to be profitable. It doesn't really work like that. You just have to believe in the probabilities, and you have to play it out multiple times in order for the probabilities to actually reveal themselves and to work in your favor, as long as you have a proven system and that your strategy has been profitable over a certain amount of trades. But that's not really my issue. That's something that I kind of developed on my own, my strategy, which I have a lot of confidence that it can work. But no, I hate being wrong. And more than that, I hate being uncertain, which is not related to fear, although it's highly related to my personality, because I'm a perfectionist. And for the simple fact that I'm a perfectionist, I struggle to enter in a position where I'm uncertain of how that is going to play out. And so I find myself a lot of times just being left out. And that happened to me multiple times just in the past month. This also goes back to the fact that I'm looking for more, I'm looking for better entries, and I'm looking for just other signals outside my trading system and outside my knowledge, if I have to put it this way. And I have engaged in two bad behaviors, which I didn't really want to talk about, which is exactly the reason why I want to talk about. So the first thing that I've done this week is that I have entered the trade because of a technical error. I just simply misclicked the button on the keyboard, and then boom, I was in the trade. And even though the general idea of the trade was valid and I believed in it, my trigger wasn't there. And I let it run, where I should have just stopped it. Stopped it not because the idea was not valid, but because my trigger wasn't there. and it turned out to be a lose. That doesn't really matter. What matters to me is why did I actually engage in the trade, and most importantly, why did I let it run? And that's one thing that I didn't really want to talk about, because I didn't think in that moment that it was something major that I needed to investigate. And then the other thing that happened is that I engaged in a signal that wasn't coming from me and wasn't in alignment with my system as well. The general idea behind the trade was valid. I believed in it, although again, it was outside my trading system, which truly makes me question, why am I doing this? And the reason why I'm doing this is because I hate being uncertain. And this is something that definitely needs a lot of my attention. And just for the simple fact that I didn't even want to write them in my journal has something to say about me not wanting to improve these things, right? This is something that, in order for me to become a consistent, profitable trader, needs to be addressed. Because small issues and, small impulses like that can turn a positive P&L into a negative P&L. And as a trader, I don't think being impulsive, it's actually an option. It's right the opposite. The more focused and the more disciplined you are, the better you're gonna become at this thing. And, the P&L is also going to improve in the long run. So given my trades that are strictly, based on the system and the entries that I found, I would have had a profitable month. Not the most profitable, because right now I trade small. I trade with 0.4% risk of the total account, just because I'm still trying to, develop my execution, develop my trade management, and also train myself to believe in the strategy, because I believe that is the only way that I can eliminate the problem that I'm facing, which is, not wanting to face uncertainty. And this is why I wanted to bring this up, because if I'm not honest about these things with myself, then this is not going to play out nicely for me. The more issues I have and the more mistakes I do, it's not necessarily concerning for me, as long as I can address it and as long as I can find the reasons why I'm doing it. But if I keep engaging in an impulsive behavior, for example, like following another trader's signal, or, just trading outside my system overall, then I must know why I'm doing it, because that is the only way that can take me to the next level of trading. That is the only way that can help and will benefit me just past this threshold into the next level. And I do have a lot more issues when it comes to trading that I have found, although I believe that this is something that, has to be dealt with step by step. And self-honestly, it's something that will definitely improve my trading, as long as I keep being self-honest about the things that I do and the reasons why I'm doing all these things. The trading signal that I engaged was just an extra confirmation that I needed for me to be more certain about my position. And as long as I engage in the trade because of the technical error, why didn't I exit the trade, right? So to me, it's more about, just pulling the trigger. It's not about being in the trade, because once you're in the trade, you've done the most that you could do. In that moment, you should let it play out. right? And just because I engage in these two different impulses, the technical error and then the trading signal, and because I stayed in these trades, even though I knew it was something wrong, that tells me that my problem is not staying in the trade. The problem is actually finding the courage to actually enter the trade and deal with the uncertainty. And this is something that I really want to improve about myself, and something that I'm deliberately working on every single day to try to get over it. This is why I've reduced the risk a lot, and the reason why I'm only trading with 0.4%, sometimes 0.3%, because I really want to train this muscle, and I really want to become a lot more confident in being uncertain, and a lot more, maybe confident is not necessarily the right word, but I really want to become a lot more comfortable with being uncertain when it comes to trading. So this is pretty much the reason why I wanted to create this video as well. And that is being self-honest and bringing a lot of honesty into this business. Because when it comes to trading, there is nobody to check on you. There is nobody to hold you accountable for your own mistakes. And so as long as you're not honest with yourself most of the time, there is nobody to actually point to you all the things that you're doing and all the mistakes that you're doing, because trading is a very lonely journey. If you cannot work with yourself, if you cannot be self-aware enough and then acknowledging your mistakes and then being responsible and taking accountability for all your mistakes, I believe the path is going to be much harder than actually acknowledging this and just saying that I was wrong and how can I actually make this better and how can I improve this, right? So yeah, this is it for now. This is why I wanted to bring this up. I believe this is important, and I believe as long as there is something that you see a pattern repeating all the time, there's something behind it, something that needs to be investigated. And what is the best way to actually do that? Being self-honest about the reason why you're actually doing it. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope this is going to be beneficial for you. And yeah, this is part of my journal now. I've noted it. I put it in the journal, something that I'm willing to work on, to improve on, and I'll keep you updated. I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen next, how I managed to overcome it, if I will manage to overcome it. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you soon.